Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 342 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, pretty good. So actually, you know what? I realized we were talking a bunch before the show, and you have some Disney information that you did something impulsive that I feel we should talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. I don't.
All right.
Okay. First of all,
wait.
Number one, this is your fault.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Okay.
Wait. Just wait.
All right. Let's back this bus up for a second.
Okay.
All right. I want to hear this.
After the last episode, so I was talking about how we were trying to figure out when we were going to do a cruise, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure, and you're like, oh, you know what you need to do, Tom? You need to find the times in your daughter's schedule where they're off and where they have, teacher days or whatever, right? So what happened? After the podcast, I go and I'm like, all right, let me look at actually, it might have happened while we were still on the podcast. I might have pulled up her schedule and I'm looking at it and I see, okay, spring break is, April 3rd to whatever the whole next week is, right? So it's to the 10th, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, you know what? Just for might as well just take a look and see if there's any cruises during that time that are open and are decent, right? So I'm just looking around, and I see this cruise. This is a 5-day cruise on the Disney Fantasy to the Bahamas, to Nassau, Bahama, and then to the two private islands for Disney, and it was. Surprisingly, considering it's spring break, it was heavily discounted. I mean, it was really heavily discounted, and
all right.
probably because we're like a month out, right? It's probably 5 weeks out.
They're filling rooms, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah. So it was heavily discounted, and so I this all kind of happened quickly, right? So I had just messaged my wife about it and sent it to her, and she was like, okay, well, and then she had sent it to her friend, the one that we want to go on vacation with. And so her friend starts following it, right? And then sees that it went down even more, right? And the next day or a day or two later. And so then my wife's just like, can we book this? And I'm like, and I'm at work, by the way, when this is happening, and I was super busy, right? I was so busy, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, can you book this right now? And I'm like, what? Are they booking this? What's happening? And of course it's last minute, it's late, we're a month away. So next thing I know, I'm booking a cruise, and we're going on a cruise during my daughter's spring break. So,
okay.
Which is a month from now. So which brings with it its own challenges, because the biggest problem, really. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry. It's just funny how this started from you and I having a conversation, and this entire chain of events is.
And it is spending too much money.
My fault.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, no, it's not really your fault, but it kind of is.
It's a funny premise. I like it.
Well, the funny, I was going to try to do a DVC swap, which, by the way, we're also going to have somebody from DVC Rental Store to talk about swaps coming on the next show.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
because I really want to learn more about it. But one of the things I learned about swaps is you can't do them last minute. They're very much like a 2 month ahead of time kind of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah, because all they're really doing is renting out your points and then using that money to pay for the cruise. That's all they're really doing. It's not anything fancy,
Right. I mean, they're just saving you the middlement, because you could just rent out your points and do the cruise. They're letting you do it all in one shot, right?
Yeah, basically. So, that's essentially what's happening. So, it's which is fine, because I think I'm probably still gonna rent out some of my points to offset the cost of the cruise anyway, right? So I'm probably gonna try to rent out some of those, but it would have been nice to do it all at once. But again, this is a last minute cruise. But the biggest problem, and so listen, we're excited. We're gonna do this with our friends, with my daughter's best friend. So my daughter's
awesome.
gonna be thrilled. She doesn't know about it yet. It's a secret. We have I think my wife and
you're still doing the surprise trips thing. Yes,
that's exactly right. So they're devising some sort of way to surprise her. And I keep saying to my wife, I was like, you got to do this. If you're going to do this, you need to do it quickly, because the cat's almost come out of the bag like 4 or 5 times now. Like, this is hard to keep this, down. So, it's, hopefully I'm hoping within the next week or so here that gets done. But so my daughter's going to be very excited about it. I'm excited for it too. We're not big port people. Like we don't, I've talked about this on the show. I feel like many of the ports are very tourist trappy, and that's not kind of my jam. Like I don't really want to go to a place where they're just trying to sell me things every 2 seconds. Like I would like to just enjoy places. So the fact that we're going to both of the private islands, I really like that, because those are ports I want to go to. And where I'm not going to be, I'm not going to just like walk off and have somebody trying to sell me the same, necklace with my daughter's name on it 40 times as I walk around. I'm looking at you, Cozumel. But anyway, so listen, we're pumped for it. It's going to be fun. The only problem is because we did this so late, and I posted this in the Discord, because we did this so late, we are, there's 2 dinner seating times, and we have the later one, which is 8:15. My daughter is asleep by 7:30 on most days. So 8:15 is going to be a rough one. So we're going to try really hard to switch that. They have like a wait list that you can go on, which we're on, but also apparently we can try to do it while we're on the ship too. So that was a whole nother thing, Trevor, where and I think probably a lot of people that do this will stay up to midnight the night of check-in, so that they can get an earlier time.
Right. This is like the same methodology as like booking fast passes first thing in the morning. So, okay.
Yeah. You can get so you can get the earliest arrival time. So, which, listen, I got a 12:15 arrival time, and which is pretty decent considering my, I have the smallest amount of Disney cruise status, which is 1 cruise. So I'm a silver person, which means I get to do it a couple days ahead of the people that are just doing it for the first time. So, but listen, I am hopeful that we will get it, because it's going to be, we really want to do the dining experiences on this ship, and I would be disappointed if we couldn't, because it's too late. But, listen, it's kind of our fault for booking this last minute. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, fair. And to continue the conversation we were having about planning trips and planning stuff, is that, you as the planner, what you're missing out on. But at the end of the day, being on a cruise is still better than not being on a cruise, right? Yes, like, yes. And yes, even if you don't get those dining experiences, your family's still going to have a good time. And, it's not like you're not going to be standing outside of the dining hall, like sighing, like, I wish we could be.
I wish we could eat. Yeah. There's plenty of food around and everything. I just, it just would be. It's going to be hard.
I get it though. Last minute, I get, but sorry, I'm still very much laughing at just how but how you went from like, I don't know what I'm doing this year, and all of a sudden we're going. Like,
I didn't
tell you. I said to like look in the fall, by the way, just so we're clear. I said like look at your fall times. I did not say like, Tom, I want you on a boat in 3 weeks. Like, okay.
Listen, no one has whiplash on this one more than I do. So, the fall's a little harder though, because that's like hurricane season. So you got to be careful, if you go in fall.
That is true. Yes, I have been submitted to a few hurricanes, and yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That is not great. I can't imagine doing it on a boat. Like I wouldn't. I've done hurricanes at Disney World. I don't want to think about how a hurricane on a boat would play out.
I don't want to do that either. So, and listen, also the other part of it too is that going in April, it's not going to be as hot, which is nice. I mean, it's still probably going to be hot, let's be honest, but it's probably not going to be as hot. So I'm excited to check out the fantasy too, because I said this in the Discord too. I've noticed that especially our listeners in the Discord that are DCL people, that if they list out their favorite ships, it seems like the fantasy is always one of their top ships. So
okay.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people say that everyone hates the Wish for some reason, and you can write in and tell us why you hate the Wish, but but no, I mean,
or maybe just what your view is on them. It doesn't, you know. We don't need a dissertation on why the Wish is awful. But
I've just noticed that why people like seem to rank the Wish really low, which is funny because then I always all the people that I've seen that have gone on the Treasure say it's their favorite ship, and that's the first ship that I went on was the Treasure, and now I'm doing the Fantasy, which a lot of them are saying is like their second to third favorite ship, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm picking well here, you know, by doing these. So yeah, I'm excited. I think I've said on here before too that I prefer to do week long cruises, and 5 days. It's fine. I would prefer to do longer, honestly. It's 5 nights, 6 days, right? So I would prefer to do longer, but it is what it is. I'll take it.
So while you were saying that, I just you piqued my interest about the ranking of Disney cruise ships. Yeah. I did a quick Google search, and so I have this website up called DisneyCruisePlanning.com.
Okay, let's see what you got.
It's funny because they have and I searched for like Disney cruise ship ranking, and they have this Disney cruise ships ranked, and it's funny how they did this because they ranked them in terms of like worst to best, but it's number 1 is number 5, which is the worst.
Weird. Okay.
Here's number like it's funny how they did it, but funny thing is they said the Disney Wish is the worst. I'm not going through this in detail, but you know that they seem to not like the theming and whatnot. Dream's a little better. Wonder is number 3. Magic is number 2, and then the Fantasy is the best according to them.
Okay.
So I guess
before the Treasure launch, because I know a lot of people.
It must be, because Treasure's not even on this list. They just because I was going to say like I thought there was more than 5 cruise ships at this point, but I don't know when this. This was done January 2025. The Treasure, I guess, launched last year, didn't it?
Yeah, it was May of. Well, no, I'm sorry, not May. I went on it in May of 2025. So, but yeah, you think it should be on there? Maybe they just hadn't gone on it yet.
Yeah. Maybe, but still, I find it funny that apparently, like just doing a quick Google search, the Wish seems to be not great. But
I've just seen it. I just seen it out there, and I don't. I think I asked Brian and Sam from DCL Duo about this, and they, you know, it's a thing where people don't like the Wish, but it's not that they hate it. It's low on their list. You know what I mean? Like it's just not their favorite.
It seems to lack whatever oomph the other ones have that make them resonate. Like, and I get it. Like to be fair, obviously, I've not been on a cruise ship, but I can understand how the different theming and how they're presented leaves a certain impression, right? And I can see how people would kind of rank worst and best in that, like, and the thing is, this is not objective in any way. Like, if somebody likes the Wish, that's fine. We're just having a conversation about it. Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, I'm also, so when I go to Alaska next year, that one is on the Wonder. So we're doing the Wonder next year. So that also seems to be one that people like. So anyway,
so you're going to be well experienced in your various Disney cruise ships.
Yes, I am. It's so weird though, because I was just talking to my wife about this morning. I'm like, oh, that's like we're going on a cruise in like a month here. Like that's really soon. Like that's really quick. So it's fine though. It's all good. I'm not really worried about it. I'm really just worried about the dining time. So if anybody knows any way that I can like pay somebody off, or I'll slip somebody a couple 20, I don't whatever I got to do to get that dining time up. If anybody's got tips and tricks, please let me know. Email.
I recall, people have said at various points that trying to get it when you get on board seems to be a viable.
Which is why I stayed up late last night, Trevor, to try to get the earliest boarding time possible, so that I can go right to that place and
increase your chances. Yeah,
that's the hope. And I do. I mean, listen, I have a pretty early time, so it's hopefully we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna try.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing how this all unfolds. I will live vicariously through you on this one.
I'm glad you're going to. No, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to checking out the new island too. It gets newer at this point because we already did Castaway, so we're looking forward to doing the new one. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right. Do we want to actually get to the rundown now?
Yeah, things that are not Trevor's fault.
Which is the rest of the rundown, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's the rest.
I didn't have any stake in any of these things.
Yeah, okay.
Although, sure, I mean, I wouldn't take credit for this first one anyway, because
I feel like we predicted this. We did, right? We said this was going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think there was a rumor about it, but now it's confirmed. So MuppetVision 3D is going to be available. This says Apple Vision Pro VR headsets, but it also says other headsets as well.
I don't like the selling it on Apple Vision Pro headsets.
But you know why they're doing that though.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole partnership thing, and somebody wants to promote it as we have it first.
Well, yeah, I mean Disney tends to favor Apple stuff, partially because,
like I said, it's that agreement between them that Apple is selling this. So the thing is that the great thing about it is, like they said, it's you're going to be able to experience MuppetVision 3D in a proper VR environment, which while is not like VR is never like one-to-one the same as actually experiencing something. There are still some very fantastic VR experiences out there. And I feel like, Disney will take the time to make this feel like you're sitting in the theater in, the MuppetVision 3D theater. The only thing you'll be missing, of course, is some of the 4D effects that happened throughout the show, right? Yes. Like, and I mean, and to be fair, MuppetVision didn't have, like, it wasn't quite as over the top as like, Tough to Be a Bug, or
oh my gosh, Mickey's PhilharMagic.
PhilharMagic, or I was even going to say, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience as well was like had like a lot of stuff going on. So you're not going to get any of that, but you can still enjoy the show if it's still something that you want to just sit and vibe with. MuppetVision 3D. I'm very much appreciative of the fact that this is an option, right? And that it's done through proper channels. Like I'm sure somebody did like a 360 degree recording of MuppetVision 3D or something, which those are cool and all, but I like having it through an official channel if possible, right? So
and I think before it closed, I'm pretty sure we talked about this because there was a report that they had a VR camera in the theater to record this for one last time, and that was kind of how this became a not a rumor, but now it's actually happening. I mean, it's official. So
and the nice thing too, don't know. The nice thing too, because of the fact that they I feel like they did it like after the final showing of it, like they just ran it through and did it again with the VR camera. You get the experience of like an empty theater for it, right? Like because other people trying to do it as like I recorded this and put it on YouTube or something like that. You get other people in the theater, right? Like it does it, and it's never a pure experience unless it's done through the proper channels. So
I think it's going to look great in VR. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be really cool, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I think I'm definitely going to check this out once it happens.
I will spend 15 minutes watching this because that's about how long the show is, right?
Yeah. Listen, there's no timeline on this, right? So we don't actually know when it's going to happen. So, but it's going to be. Oh, it also says that Brian Henson is saying that you'll be able to watch the show from any seat in the theater, which seems.
Oh,
yeah.
That's where this gets interesting, and that's where I like the like I said, the getting it through official channels is they're trying to give an extra that you wouldn't get just through watching a YouTube video, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, being able to move around the theater is actually kind of a neat, like you would never do that during a regular showing of it, but like the idea of being able to like position yourself like underneath the side balconies or towards the back, like it's kind of a neat little thing to play with, right?
Yeah. So it's, I think this is an exciting thing, and I think this is the right thing to do. And listen, at the time they had said that they were going to find some way to keep it alive, and this is, I don't know if this is the way or just one of the ways they're going to keep it alive, but this is certainly what we assumed it would be, which is VR. So
it's a pretty good way, and I wouldn't be surprised if the release of it does coincide with the what's it called? Rock and Roller Coaster redo.
Yeah.
Because I could see them kind of doing it as like hey, we got Rock and Roller Coaster, but then also like you can check out MuppetVision 3D if you want. Like,
yeah, you think they would have done it when they put the new show out, but I guess maybe it wasn't ready yet. But.
Yeah, I think it's also like from a planning standpoint, it's like, when they're redoing an attraction, it's like you kind of giving like an extra like promotion thing with the attraction is kind of a good way to hype it up, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think I'm predicting that it'll come out like alongside when Rock and Roller Coaster opens up.
That would be nice. That would be a good idea to do that. So yeah. But again, we don't really know, so we'll have to wait and find out. But
so I guess today's theme is Hollywood studios, and you didn't realize it when you were doing.
It really wasn't purposeful,
but we're still talking about stuff in Hollywood studios. So
well, yeah, I mean, listen, we're trying to make things better here, and I know they're improving Hollywood studios. Now, listen, this isn't new news, but the one piece of information within this is new news, right? And that's this thing that they just announced with Olaf. So they're gonna do this whole thing where you can learn to draw with Olaf. And basically it's a show, where you sit in there, you got a little drawing table, and there's an animatronic Olaf sitting at the animator's table there, teaching you how to animate characters, or teaching you how to draw, I guess. So, listen, I'm all for more animatronics. I saw that there was a little bit of noise about this because people were mad that they weren't going to have a live animator there. And I understand that.
Okay. Like,
sure. Whatever. Does my daughter care that there's going to be a live animator there or Olaf there? She's going to care that Olaf is there. I'm just saying,
Yeah. So I mean, okay. Let's. I get the. Okay, I get the rage around, the perception of you're taking somebody's job because it used to be the job of somebody that they were paying an animator to sit there and do this every day, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing about that is that you're, I mean, as an animator, I feel like, okay, I'm going to relate this from my field of work, and I'm not speaking for all animators and whatnot, but if I at various points in my job, I get tasks put in front of me where it's like, do this thing 50 times, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And after about the 10th time, I'm like, this is boring. I don't like this. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
I feel like having an animator sitting there, here's a bank of like, 10 or 15 drawings. Show these people how to draw this thing every day, 10 times a day for however long you do this. That's a very monotonous job and especially for a something like doing like drawing and animation stuff. I feel like anybody in that job would be like, it's great to mentor people, it's great to show people these things, but then you're also not doing anything new and creative, and maybe getting involved in like I'm hopeful that I've been seeing outside of Disney more and more people exploring 2D animation again. Yeah. And I wouldn't, I'm hoping that, maybe Disney comes back around with more 2D animation in the future. So, I wouldn't want to be that person that's like sitting in the animation studio, just doing this thing in and out when, and again, I'm not saying that it replacing it with an animatronic is, just de facto better, but I'm saying, yes, you could do that job for maybe, a couple months or a year or whatever, but it would eventually hit a point where I'll be honest, I don't think they have a lot of people that are like eagerly signing up to be like, yeah, I want to be the animator sitting at the desk for, doing this 10 times a day. right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's my argument. I'm not, anybody that says they would want to do it, fair. I personally would not want to be in that position. And the thing is that these drawings, they're not like, they're relatively simple, repeatable things. Having an animatronic show people how to do it, I mean, why not, right? And
To be fair, though, Olaf isn't actually showing anybody how to do it. They're going to have recordings of Disney animators to show you, and he's kind of
talking. He's talking through it, right? But
exactly.
And again, but it's all like it's all pre-recorded, it's a tutorial, but you're getting a bit of a show with it with Olaf, and I'm sure he'll have like some banter and stuff that he does through it and everything. So, I don't see it as a bad thing. And honestly, I see it far more sustainable than what the other animation studio was doing too, or the old animation studio, because the other thing about it too is, I've done that a couple of times, and I've actually like watched YouTube videos of people doing like because people will do like vlogs of them going into the animation studio and stuff. And the other side of it too is that the person who is giving the tutorial can be hit or miss the same way that your jungle skipper can be hit or miss.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. And again, I'm not hating on people and saying like, that, people are bad at their job or whatever, but not everybody is equipped to entertain and engage a crowd, which I feel like this will actually make it more sustainable because the experience will be more consistent over time. Right.
Yeah. The thing I thought that was cool about this, Trevor, is that they're basing this whole area on that Once Upon a Studio short. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen that, go check that out.
Yeah, but the one that makes you cry about halfway through with the curve ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It gets you good. So
I watched it. I don't want to watch it again.
I know. It is
not because it's bad. It's like, the problem is it's really good. Yeah.
But the funny part about it is the whole thing with Olaf teaching this class is there is a scene in that where Olaf is sitting at an animator's desk and drawing, and they basically have just replicated that scene from the short in real life for this, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, again, great detail, and I feel like it's something they could build upon, right? Yeah. Because it may feed back into, like you said, they have that short that's become a live action thing. I wouldn't be surprised if kind of like Star Tours, that this becomes a thing where you want to go back and do it multiple times because you start getting different. Yeah. Like there's like the different drawings that you may end up doing. Cause there's nothing saying that they can't, change up what they're offering as the tutorials, but then, you may get different little bits out of Olaf as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. So I, like I said, I think the real thing that matters here is the audience of my daughter's age, which is, she's going to want to see Olaf. She doesn't want to see some random person that she doesn't know teaching her how to draw. The fact that Olaf's going to be up there talking to her, that will make her very excited. So, I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to, right? And I like I said, I'm not unsympathetic to the idea of not having a live person up there and instead having an animatronic. I just think this is going to be very cool. Yeah, I'm always for more animatronics.
Yeah, I feel like you said, it's not. I'm not saying like they shouldn't have a live action person, but I feel like you could better utilize animators elsewhere and leave this as its own thing. Like just because there was a precedent of it used to be somebody that did it as their job doesn't mean that there's no reason why it has to keep being that way. And like I said, I feel like it gives them more ammo to say hey, we have animators doing working on actual projects, not just sitting in a room showing people how to draw Mickey Mouse for the 582nd time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. By the way, this is now we have an opening time for this, which is late summer 2026. So this is happening this year, late summer. I'm going to guess means August. I don't know.
August. I guess it could be September. Maybe it
could. Yeah, I'm gonna think.
I feel like it would be like start of September kind of thing. Like as like summer traffic is winding down, they would kind of put in something like this. Yeah,
I could see that. That feels like the right time for this. So
yeah. Let's revisit this episode. I'm going to totally forget about things that we're talking about and predicting. And I
always forget about it. Like, I wish I wrote I need to write these things down because I always forget the predictions that we make. So, but it's okay. It's all good. So why don't we go ahead, Trevor, and do our ad? So the sponsor of this episode is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a key holder vacation company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on the hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2025, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. Okay.
All right. Okay. So this next thing you have on here is interesting pick. I get. So okay, we're going to talk about Joe Rohde, who was a former Imagineer who's released a new book. So this is
releasing a new book, not so later this year.
Yeah, you're right. And I guess the funny thing about this is that he's a contractor. I guess now he's not employed
consultant,
through Disney.
Technically,
sorry, yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So he's a consultant. But I guess this is Disney adjacent because it's a book about him. I guess he's talking about lessons learned from building Pandora. Yeah. So the title of the book is Floating Mountains, The Art of Imagining the Impossible. So I'm curious about this, but I guess I wonder about these kinds of things. I guess he's working with Disney to do this, or is he releasing this on his own? Would be my question.
The book cover says Disney Imagineer. I
guess it does have the Disney logo on it. Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's through Disney. But I would assume if he's doing this, it's probably Disney stamp of approval on it. I would think.
Yeah. I mean, because the interesting thing is he's in a position where, because he doesn't, obviously he still wants to work with Disney. He doesn't want to burn bridges, but, he can give more behind the scenes insight than maybe Disney wants people to see. So I have to wonder what lens this is being presented through. Is it the lens of somebody who worked on things and saw how things maybe should or shouldn't have worked? Or is it like the more Disney's lens of hey, this is how our Imagineers work, and kind of like giving it that the Imagineers are wonderful kind of flavor to it, right?
Yeah, you know what though, I don't think that's going to be the case, because I'm just basing it off his social media posts. He's been pretty honest about a lot of things. I mean, not like he's not like outright saying, some stuff, and he's more hinting at some things, but it does feel like he's being, pretty candid about a lot of things recently on social media. And also, I will also point to the Imagineering story, where if you watch the Imagineering story, it is not always a super flattering view of Disney or Imagineering. They are pretty critical at a lot of times in there. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some situations where maybe he writes something and they're like, well, don't put that in there. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm very interested in this. I mean, he's a legendary Imagineer. I really like these Imagineering books that come out. I've read a couple of them, and I do find them really interesting. So I'm looking forward to this book. I will definitely read it when it comes out, and also we'll maybe try to get him on the show. Who knows? We'll
yeah. I mean, yeah, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'd love to talk to him about stuff like this. It's probably going to be difficult, but I would love to.
Yeah, for sure. And the interesting thing, or part of why I was thinking about this too, like whether or not this would be critical or not, is I know, like you said, Joe has been vocal about things that he could or couldn't do it. And he actually, I don't know if you saw this post as well, but, he had been talking about years ago that he wanted to look at redoing Dinoland USA into a.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show, remember?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, I can't remember what we talk about week to week sometimes.
Yeah, we talk about the show.
But it's, it's kind of in that same vein, right? That it's like, it's kind of, like I said, that's why I kind of wonder about these books is like, he does kind of point out, it's like, hey, we would love to do a lot more than they let us do. And it's kind of, and that's what I'm kind of interested in, I guess, from these kinds of books is like, we know the things that you were able to do. What about the things that you couldn't do or you weren't able to do for multiple reasons? Like, sometimes there is like, it's a timing thing. It's budget. It's, sometimes it's the guy in charge just says, no, I don't like that. And it gets squashed. So, it's a curious thing to see though, right? Like I do like seeing that part of behind the curtain, right? Like you don't always want to see everything behind the curtain, but it's very interesting to see some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just had to mark that on there. But the other thing I want to talk about, and this is it's interesting. The past couple of weeks
I like that you left this as the last thing, first of all, before you get too far into this. And I know why you left it as the last thing, because this is a conversation.
Yeah, it is a conversation because there's been a lot of things coming out over the past couple of weeks about Villain's Land, right? At Magic Kingdom. And, so a couple of weeks ago, we saw that they had scrapped the plans and that they were doing something bigger and bolder, right? And I've seen some articles now that are claiming that that's not true, that the plans were always big and bold, that there was no change for this. And so, I mean, I don't know what's true or what's not. Everything is rumor, right? Well, we don't know. I mean, we really don't know. We can't take everything as fact. But one of the things that's being reported now by actual legitimate news organizations, because the other thing was not, that was floating around the blogs, right, was that the bigger, bolder thing. Like, I don't think that actually got picked up by actual legit news organizations. But the other thing that we have coming out now is that this is according to the Wrap, which put out a big report about this, and that according to sources is that Disney is looking to tone down Villain's Land a little bit, right? So originally it was going to be and not tone down the grandness of it, but to make it more family friendly,
approachable.
Yes.
Which,
listen, when they announced Villain's Land and they showed the concept art of it, there's never been a time where I thought that they were going to go full on hardcore villains. Like I never thought that they were going to go with what the Dark Universe section at Epic Universe is. Like, it's just not Disney. Disney's not going to do that.
It seemed for a minute like concept art and stuff, and because of what we were seeing about Dark Universe, I feel that there was an impression that they were leaning that way. So sorry, continue your thought.
I just never believed they were ever going to do it, but because it's just not in there. I mean, listen, they can still make something dark and make it family friendly. Like, you don't have to make it dark and also scary. You can make it dark and creepy and still be okay for kids. There's ways to do these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they're saying now, and again, this is all rumor. Complete and total rumor. So we can't take any of this for fact, right? Until Disney says otherwise, this is rumor, because we really do. I mean, these are reports, and sure, it's coming from the Wrap, which is basically one step up from a blog. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Their sources are not being, they're claiming sources, but I don't see anywhere in it where it's like, this person is on record as saying this. Like, they're saying that they had some conversations, behind doors and stuff like that. So again, because of that, we do have to take all of this with a grain of salt. So
what they're reporting is that according to the sources in this report, that the main ride was supposed to be a intense roller coaster themed to Maleficent, which you do see in the concept art. Which, I mean, you only see a little bit of it, though. You see one piece of it. So we really don't know what that was actually going to look like. You really only see, like, in the bottom left-hand corner of the concept art, there's like well, I guess just the bottom, you can see a roller coaster going by very quickly in like a crater of some sort, right? Like that's all we can really see there.
I'm imagining Velocicoaster, but with dragons instead of raptors. So let's say it was that.
let's say it was that. Yeah, and now they're saying that is not the case, and the main attraction will be Maleficent theme, but instead it'll be an indoor water ride similar to Pirates of the Caribbean at Shanghai, which uses if you haven't watched videos of it, it is very cool. It's kind of like it's almost like the trackless version of a water ride. The boat can spin, it can do, go sideways. You don't really know where it's going. It's pretty cool.
It's something unseen in Florida so far, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And what they're saying is the scale would be rival to the Cars themed Radiator Springs Racers at California Adventure or Rise of the Resistance. And this is also claiming too that this has something to do with being able to charge for Lightning Lane, and being able to get more revenue from Lightning Lane when it rains. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That feels flimsy to me. But
I don't think that is the hinging decision on these things. But okay.
Whatever. If we want to do that, fine. Yeah. Right. And then it says there will still be a roller coaster. It'll just now be themed to Emperor's New Groove and will be less intense. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Why?
Because the Villain's Land does not give off Emperor's New Groove to me. Like, I understand that people want to do like the whole, the whole scene from there.
Hold the lever, Kronk.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I understand people want to do that, but I don't know. This doesn't feel like the right place for it. And I would be kind of surprised if this were to be true.
I mean, Yzma is a creepy villain and has that like mad scientist thing going on, which I know, I get what you're saying, because like the overarching story doesn't lend itself to like, it's not, it's a pretty light story, right? But
yeah,
Yzma in a bubble, Yzma and Kronk and like the stuff they're doing in the lab and whatever, I see how that could be leveraged into a coaster that it like, and again, back to what the article is talking about is, the focus, or basically what they were implying is that, it seemed like when they first announced Villain's Land that the focus was like looking at how can we compete with Dark Universe, right? Not copy it, but make something on the same level as Dark Universe. Now it sounds like they've kind of changed gears and they're looking more at Berk, because Berk, or How to Train Your Dragon in Epic Universe is, I think it's the most well-received land. Not to say that like Epic Universe is bad, that any of the other lands are bad, but it has gotten the most like acclaim and acknowledgement of like, hey, it feels alive. It feels very like you are stepping into that land, right? And I feel like, with toning down the roller coaster, not making it the centerpiece and, making another ride the centerpiece, it kind of puts it in the same lane as what Berk did, because Berk has that roller coaster. It has Hiccup's wing gliders, which is a centerpiece, but it's actually not like there's a lot more going on in the land, right? Yeah. Like it's not intimidating, I guess is the best way to put it. And so I see why, if they were looking at plans and going, we're shooting for, Villains is going to be scary, but then, yeah, like to your point, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you've got a line of kids the funny visual of this is like, you have Fantasyland moving over towards Haunted Mansion and then up towards Villain's Land. And there's like a hard line where like kids stop, right? because they're like, no, I'm not going. Like,
I'm not going in there. Yeah,
I don't want to go anywhere near that, or like it becomes the inverse of Fantasyland, right? And I don't think Disney wants that as much as we all look at it and go like, oh, a Villain's Land would be great because it's for adults. It's for the little kids can be scared, but I can go and enjoy it. And the reality is that no, Disney's not going to do that. You have like Dark Universe does that to a certain degree, like, but Dark Universe is able to do that because there's no precedent of Epic Universe being a family park, right? Like
No.
that's not its demographic. So I get why Disney maybe sat down and looked at this and went, hey, we need to make this, that, kids can still be freaked out and it's okay for kids to be uneasy. And, to that point is like, I've seen kids get scared on Pirates of the Caribbean. We all, go like, hey, it's pirates. What are you talking about? But, skeletons are freaky. Like, the cave at the beginning's freaky. Like it's fair for them to be scared, but not to the point where kids are like having a full on meltdown all day in the park. Right.
Yeah. To me, like Dark Universe is like when Disney did Alien Encounter in Magic Kingdom.
Yes. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
It's like they put it there and it was very like, listen, would Alien Encounter work at Hollywood Studios? Yeah, it would. You could probably do it at Hollywood Studios. At Magic Kingdom though, probably not. Right? And
that was the curveball of it, was that people had no clue what they were walking into, and it was intense, right?
And I think that's the problem with doing a full-on scary land in Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is, it's the crown jewel. You can't, I don't know.
It has a precedent, right? It has an expectation. So, yeah.
No, and that's not to say they can't make this creepy. And I honestly, I'm going to say this right now. I'm betting that this is still going to be Maleficent themed, because Maleficent is one of the more popular Disney villains, and I still think these things are going to be Maleficent themed. And I don't know what the roller coaster is going to be. Who knows? But the other part about this is, if they are doing this, I think part of it is, and I said this in the Discord, and I think this is true. A lot of the criticisms, a lot of people really love Epic Universe, but some of the criticisms I've seen are that it's not great for little kids because everything has a height requirement basically there.
Yeah, and basically you're either sitting in Super Mario World or, maybe Burke, but like you said, like little kids can't do most of the stuff there. Yeah.
And the other problem I've heard is that too many things are outside, and so when it rains, which it does often in Florida, you end up with a lot of stuff closed, and that's a legit thing too. So a part of, if they are shifting this, it could be in response to those two criticisms of, listen, Disney probably realizes, going intense is great, but also, if people are going to Disney for just a day or two, a quick thing with their young kids, they're going to want a place where they can take their kids on pretty much everything, right? Like, you're not going to want to take your kids to Magic Kingdom and then be like, oh, you can't ride anything in Villains Land. You know what I mean? Like, that's not great. And I'm not saying that that's how it is at Epic Universe, but it is, even the Isle of Burke one, that one roller coaster has a decently high height requirement, and is, and I've read from some people is, it's not super intense, but it's also not tame
it's
either.
Fast enough. Yeah. It's not a Goofy's, or sorry, what is the one called in Barnstormer, thank you. I almost called it Goofy Sky School, but that's a totally different coaster, and I should know better. I almost lost my Disneyland cred for that. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay. No, it's okay.
You're right. It's not the Barnstormer. It's a step up. It's probably closer to Slinky Dog, which like Slinky Dog is another one that is deceptive because it's Slinky Dog, but when you're actually on that coaster, it's faster than you think. It goes, it doesn't look that high up. And in terms of the hard part is everyone loves going like to scale of like, it's not Velocicoaster. Yeah. But to a 8-year-old, it is Velocicoaster.
Listen, when I went on Slinky and we got to the top of that first hill, I was like, wow, this is higher than I thought it was. Like, this is, it wasn't like super intense, but it was just like, wow, this is higher. And that's what they're saying. This is going to be more like Slinky Dog. But listen, I don't think any of us really know what these plans are. And obviously Disney's being quiet about it because they're actually going to talk about this in D23 in August. But it is interesting to see all these rumors about it. Cause like I said, I'm also seeing other rumors saying that, other reports saying that the plans have not changed at all and that these are false. And so listen, I don't know what's true.
You know what the funny thing is?
Yeah.
They've not officially committed to anything, so both stories are true.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
This is Schrodinger's
Disney, Schrodinger's Villain's Land.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, like when you're talking about like, you know, the appeal of dark rides and stuff, like, honestly, I'm not opposed to the idea of them moving to a dark ride for the reasons that you talked about, is that, you know, dark rides are fantastic experiences. It does let them do things far more creative than you can do with an outdoor ride. Like, outdoor rides do have limitations, like you said, because of weather, because of like, you can only do so much in an outside setting. But dark rides lets them have far more creativity. And then also, I actually think back to, you know, again, when my brother and I were there last, is, you know, we had a day in Magic Kingdom, which was great and we enjoyed it. When we went to Epcot, it was raining all day. But the nice thing about Epcot was it was raining all day, and the only thing that was closed was Test Track.
Test Track, yeah.
Everything else is indoors, right? So it's you know, indoors does have its advantages. And, you know, even if you say like, oh, but I wanted the extreme coaster, like, yeah, unfortunately, the truth is you're never like, Tron is definitely a great extreme coaster, but you're not going to get, Disney does not want to get into the space of Velocicoaster and Hulk and, you know, and the new one, I can't remember what the new one is that they're building that's replacing
Fast and the Furious one.
Yeah, the one that's replacing Rip Ride Rocket. Fast and the Furious one actually looks like it looks kind of like a Guardians type coaster.
Yeah.
So, but like, you're not going to get, but I guess we did get Guardians, but like, you know, Disney still has a high bar on, they don't want to push to the point of, like, and I will say this too, like from a guest experience, you know, Velocicoaster, because I had done so many Disney roller coasters over the years, I didn't even think about this, but when we got into line for Velocicoaster, you're going through metal detectors, and I had, sorry, this is such a Canadian thing, but you know, I'll tell you anyway. I was wearing shorts that they had cargo pockets on them, and I didn't think, and I emptied my pockets, and I thought I had everything out. Went through the metal detector, went off, and I was like, "What the heck?" The guy checked me with the metal detector. I had a loonie in my pocket, which, and you're going, "What's a loonie?" It's a dollar coin.
I know what it is. I actually know what it is.
It's a $1 coin. I had a loonie in my pocket that should not have been there. It just was in my pocket for like I didn't even realize it was there. But then, you know, I was like, oh, it's just a loonie. And they were like, no, go back and put it in the locker. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, they don't mess around with that.
Yeah. And this is the thing is, you know, if you put that into a Disney sense, that's very jarring too. Like, so it's not just like the scariness of the rides, but also like when you get into like, you know, the high speed coasters that have height requirements that have like, no, you cannot have anything on this coaster because it's a safety risk. It's not just you know, this is too scary, but like safety stuff. Disney doesn't want to do that. I understand why they don't want to do that. Like it, so.
Well, yeah, I think I talked about this before, Trevor, on the show. My sister, who has never met a roller coaster she didn't like, told me that when she went on Velocicoaster, her thought was towards the end of it was, why isn't this over yet? Can this please be over? Like, it's not that she wasn't enjoying it, but it was like, and I've heard this from a bunch of people that it's like just so intense that it's like,
it is, you know, when you're not ready for it, it is very much like it threw me, like same thing as your sister, you know, I'm all for a roller coaster. Those inversions threw me. Like I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Right. And I still enjoy it. Like I will ride Velocicoaster again, but I was just not prepared for what it was. Right.
So, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, the other point that somebody brought up here, that one of the articles brought up here, Trevor, is that they're already doing land clearing and permitting and starting to work on this stuff. So the idea that there would be a shift at this point doesn't really make sense because they do these things really far out. You know, like like these things take a long time, and they're already doing permits. They're already got all the plans out there, for the permitting. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of agree with that idea. It just seems like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that they're changing something. But
I mean, even with permits, they can refile things and they can repurpose buildings is the thing. Yeah. So it's not, I guess the thing is, the statement of they're rethinking it is like, they're not scrapping the entire blueprint and starting over, but they do have space to adjust. And the thing is, and, back to the point of, like Joe Rohde's book is, I'm sure this has happened with every single land and we're just not privy to it, is that along the way, even when they're like building and designing and stuff, it's not that they have it 100% figured out when they start building it. There are changes that happen along the way. So
no, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I listen, they might be reevaluating some plans, but I guess I'm referring to just like the rumor a couple weeks ago that they like blew up the whole plans and now they're going bigger.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That just feels.
There is one other thing though, that in this article that I'm really hopeful that this is a thing, because they didn't really talk about this. Or they talked about there would be like a dining experience, but the rumor talks about the dining experience being a dinner show with Hades.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think of all the things to speculate about, I feel like if it turns out that their version of like Be Our Guest or whatever is like a Hades dinner show, like that would be incredibly popular. And the funny thing about it is that it's like, that is so like, for Hades being a villain, it is like the most all ages villain if you think about it.
Sure.
Like,
I can see that.
Because like Hades himself is like, he's not, or in the scope of Hercules, the animated movie. And sorry, I say this because I've played game. There's actually a game called Hades, which like it flips the context of Hades and like all that like Greek mythology on its head. So it's like I'm thinking like it's hard because that's like coming into my head as I'm talking about this. It's like Hades is family friendly. No, like Hades
not really.
Not family friendly, but the Disney Hades is very much family friendly. And I feel like it's like it has that potential to be on the same level as like the Aladdin stage show, right? Yeah. Where it's like just something very like it feels like if they did go down that path, that it like, you end up with something where it's a unique experience every time, but also like it has just, I don't even know what that energy is, but it's like that same energy that you get when there's like a really cool character interaction.
Oh yeah.
Right?
If there's got to be a Hades character interaction in Villain's Land, right? I mean, like, that's the Gaston of like,
because I don't know if you saw, like they've been doing Hades in, so he's one of the character meets in Disneyland at, what is it?
Halloween parties.
Yeah, at the Halloween parties, and there like there's a bunch of them, but like Hades has been there, and it's like hey, that's I have to wonder if, and again, this is all speculation, of course, but I have to wonder if maybe that's like a testing ground for what could evolve into like a dinner show of some sort, right?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
By the way, this rumor also mentions that there will be, while they initially had planned for 2 rides, they're saying now there's going to be a third one, which would be like a Dumbo type flat ride, but themed to Ursula.
Another spinner.
And I really hope they don't do that, because we don't need any more spinners at Magic Kingdom. We got 3 of them, 4 of them technically.
I also heard it could potentially, so not a traditional spinner, but something more akin to Alien Swirling Saucers or Mater's Junkyard Jamboree could be a possibility as well, which those are a little bit different from your normal spinners. They're more like I guess they're like the whip, right?
Yeah, I just feel like it would take me a little bit out of things if that's just sitting in the middle of the land somewhere, you know?
And I don't even know what that would be, right? Like what kind of but this is the other interesting thing too, is that, you know, those kind of spinner rides, they don't have to necessarily be out in the open.
No, you could put them inside. I mean, there was they were going to put that remember that what is it? It was a Mary Poppins like teacup kind of thing.
Yeah,
that they were going to put in, that was going to be indoors, if I remember correctly. That never ended up happening. So I don't know. I guess it's possible you could put it indoors. I don't want to, like, we talked about this before. You walking through Adventureland and you see the magic carpets, and it's just kind of like in the way, in the middle, a little bit of an eyesore. Like, and especially when you're doing something highly themed like Villain's Land, like to just see like a flat ride just chilling in the middle of it, it's like, can we not do that? You know?
Yeah, but yes, I get what you're saying, but it also goes back to, and I keep making this point of, you know, kinetic energy in the lands.
Sure.
And a spinning ride does offers movement, even if it's not like the most amazing thing. And you're like, even if you're not going to ride it, just having that there is still better than nothing. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the other one that, sorry, I forgot about this too. I was trying to remember the name of it. I had to look it up here. Was because it used to be called something else, but Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters is another, like, it's not a spinning ride. It's actually it's like a trackless. It's a trackless ride, but it's like the cars dance around
each other. Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like there's lots of potential for them to do different things and not have it be just like you said, another. I know the rumor says another spinner ride. I kind of hope at the very least it's like closer to Alien Swirling Saucers and not Dumbo would be my preference. But
yeah.
And I also see where, you know, there is, as much as we say, like, you know, I don't want another spinner ride. They do have a certain amount of people eating, and they do appeal to a certain demographic of people in the parks. So
give me an Omnimover, man. Just give me an Omnimover, and, you know, like,
movers everywhere. It's all Omnimovers.
Yeah. You want to talk about people eater? No better people eater.
Yeah, and I wish you're right. I wish we would. What was the last? I guess the last Omnimover was
technically it's supposed to be Buzz Lightyear.
I mean, I guess Buzz Lightyear's been recently redone, but I thought the Nemo and Friends in Epcot, or no, actually, I guess Little Mermaid would have been more recent than that.
Yeah, Little Mermaid was more recent.
So yeah, I guess. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess, but that's still a long time ago.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. You know, they need to do more Omnimovers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right,
my friend.
Maybe we'll maybe as we're saying this, maybe, you know, Disney will look and go, oh yeah, they're right. They should do another.
Clearly, we all know that
they're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, the new CEO of Disney listens to this podcast. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So
in our minds and in our dreams.
In our minds, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Josh, email me, buddy. Email me. I know you're busy, but email me.
Yeah, just say what's up.
Yeah, just to reach out. We gotta, you know, we can put them together.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I guess we'll wrap this up so Josh knows where to contact us.
Yeah, clearly, we need to say that.
Okay, so yeah, you know, if anyone wants to let Josh know, you can find our email address. It's welcome home.
First name basis, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. You can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from everybody, all the Joshes and everybody else. So yeah, you know, you can always find us there, but you can also go to our website, welcomehomepodcast.co, and you can contact us through there as well. We are also on social media, so you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube is Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram is Welcome Home Pics. We also do have a store if you want to help support the show. So it's store.welcomehomepodcast.co. You can also get to the store from the website. So if you go to the website, there's a link to the store there as well. You can check it out. I believe we are past the 10% promo that, you know, Tom talked about a couple weeks ago. But we're going to look to do more fun things to promo in the future. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, yeah, if you need What did Katie call it in the Discord? A hip bag or something like that?
I don't know what I'm confused still.
It's still a fanny pack. Sorry. I mean, they're fanny packs to us. Yeah. Just accept it. And then, we got all kinds of stuff in there, and we also, we do have a Patreon. So if you would like to help support us through Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod, check out our different levels of Patreon support, which, all of our Patreon supporters get. There's exclusive, rewards there that have an exclusive logo that you can only get on Patreon. And also all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server. As we've mentioned on the show, it's just yet another place that we have conversations from stuff on the show, and, have our own little reckless speculations, but also, everybody sharing their, cool things that they're doing, like, renovating bathrooms in Disney, in Disney version. I saw that was very cool.
That was cool.
Yep. Also, talking about, their trip planning, talking about their favorite cruise ships, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to come join in, like I said, check out us on Patreon and get access to the Discord server. Last but not least, though, if you are listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you can leave us 5 stars, please do so. It just helps the algorithm, helps us get out to more people. We do like seeing new followers and stuff. It makes us feel good. You can also write us a review on iTunes and let us know what you think about the show, because we do like to hear what you guys think about what we're doing here.
Yeah, and so do that, please. Like, we need reviews. I want a review. Someone give me a review. Just do it now. Anyway,
it's like a report card. Just give me a report card.
Yeah. And then the other thing, by the way, we do have a new Food Time episode out, so you can go watch that on YouTube right now for the International Flower and Garden Festival. We had a lot of fun with that one. We even got to talk about Trevor's nemesis, the conch fritters. So go check that out. Yeah. Go check out the conch fritters that Trevor doesn't want to eat. But yeah, so please check that out. Also, give us a review. And the other thing you can do is not forget, but remember to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast, so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. Of course, just search for Welcome Home. Look for the one that looks like a Disney one and says Disney in it. Huge thank you to our sponsor of this episode, DVC Resale Market. We're going to have them on next week to talk a little bit about some DVC stuff. And, of course, Keyholder Vacations for just being a great friend and sponsor to the show for a very long time now. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
To a house when we had a chair, how she can cuddle is no man's affair. I look around for all the clothes, found her in her